Join Kendra, Ebony, and Leslie as they discuss the development of their math identities and why it's important as teachers to nurture this in our students.
Start talking.
I mean, I think that's like powerful to say that, um, like I'm asking you about your math identity, and you're saying you don't have one.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm saying I do have one, but if I have to think about the experience, the specific experiences that led me to having it, it's because of what I did and what my family did to help me create this identity. I don't feel like someone took the time to do a special, unique design for Ebony Brownlee for me in crafting my identity. Um, like when we listen to the experiences, I'm sure you guys have something that's unique, something specific. I can't tell you that. It's always been my family saying, all right, let's get into the books, let's study. Now I can tell you about those unique experiences outside of the classroom, but it's always been preached to be 10 times better. So my studies outside of the classroom really helped me to craft the identity that I had in my younger years and even to now.
I don't know that I knew to call it my math identity when I was younger. I just knew that I had a joy for math, and that was developed from the teachers that I had and the way they gave me those experiences in math to learn. Like from kindergarten to fifth grade, I went to a school where we had this kind of open and exploratory kind of learning, and we were able to touch things and move things around and build stuff, and that was fun to me. And I got to discover math on my own. And then my teachers delved deeper when we got to the actual math lessons about why is this happening? Well, how do you know that was happening? So I was getting these questions asked to me about the how and why of the doing of mathematics.
Good.
And then when I went to middle school, I had the same kind of teaching came from working with manipulatives, because then I was able to call what that was as manipulatives that I was working with and developing my skills even further. But it wasn't until I got into high school and I went to my geometry class in the ninth grade where that was the first time I ever struggled in a math classroom. And when I looked around my classroom and I looked at the identities of the other people in the classroom, they were white. It was just me and another black guy in the class, and both of us struggled in the classroom. And I don't think I knew what to call it then at all. I just think about that experience as can my teacher not reach me? Or why am I not understanding? I don't even think I thought about why can my teacher not reach me, even though I think about that now. I just know that she cranked that machine and just wrote constantly on the overhead projector. And that's not the way that I learned. I never touched anything. We never really did anything in class. I can count on one hand how many times manipulatives were brought out for us to use in the classroom, but it was for very specific things in that course. But I think that is where I started to learn that part of my math identity is that I have to touch something tangible. I need to feel it. I need to discover it for myself. And then once I removed myself from that classroom and went to the 10th grade class, I felt the joy again in mathematics, because I didn't have that joy for that class my 9th grade year.
So in that 9th grade year, when the manipulatives were out, was it something that was specially designed for you? Like, I'm doing this just for you? Or did
No,
you
we're using the protractor for that specific skill that we're learning in class.
Got it.
It wasn't because, I feel like I feel like some kids in the classroom need this, because I think I was the only kid that needed it.
But that's what I mean.
But I did ask for, can I have something, like I need something. You see that I'm not doing well in class. What can you do for me?
Right.
The teacher wasn't used to that, huh?
No.
But that's exactly what I mean about the identity. Yes, there were things put in place for the students to be successful, right? Of course, I saw that, but there was nothing for me.
Right.
right? I wasn't being poured into, like specifically, this is for you. So I had to take advantage of those moments like you and understand, like, oh, this works a part of my identity. Okay, using manipulatives, being able to sketch out my thinking in private and then being able to share it helps me. But I came to those understandings by myself, knew and said, okay, let me help you, or I see you.
Well, let me tell you all about mine. So I I did not do well in math at all as a child. I don't really have a lot of recollection of the earliest years, but from third, fourth, I just really, really struggled. When I went to, we called it junior high when I was there. And when I went to junior high, I was not even in the classes that my friends were in because I could not keep up. I just did not get it. I just was having the hardest time. And so it was not until I was in high school, no manipulatives, no nothing. It was fill up the chalkboard, write it down, erase it, fill up the chalkboard, write it down. And so I was in high school when I finally had a teacher who was a family friend who did take time to work with me and help me through that. But I didn't really know what I was doing. It was all rote procedure. I was really struggling. And so I had always thought that I wanted to be a teacher, never really thought about having to teach math if I was going to be a teacher. But then when I went to college, I decided I was going to be a teacher, and I was going to be a math teacher, and I was going to be a good one, and I was going to make sure that my students knew what the math meant, how to do it. And so until I became a math teacher, I still struggled with it. And so I really went in thinking I was not going to be good at it, but I was going to figure out how to be good at it, you know. So it has completely changed because now I specialize in that. So I just turned it all around. So my math identity thankfully changed. And I really think it was because of that one high school teacher who, she was not able to fix it for me at that time, but she helped me realize, you know what, I can do this, and I'm going to help these students. I'm going to figure this out. So it's so interesting how we can all have such different stories and all the factors that are so important in creating our identities.
Yes.
So if there was a takeaway, like, message that we could give and provide, like, what would that be so that there's more intentionality?
What popped in my head when you just said that, Ebony, was that I feel like educators need to really take the time to learn each student's math identity, help the student realize what their identity is, and then try to really, because I can't, if I'm a teacher, I can't truly meet Kendra where she is if I don't really understand. My teachers didn't know where I was. They didn't know where I was, and they couldn't get to where I was. They were up there teaching it. I got it or I didn't.
Right.
And so I just feel like if we would work harder at really figuring out where our students are, and yes, it takes time and effort, but man, the growth that we could get and the things that we could help our students with.
And I feel like from knowing the math identity, if you know it at the beginning of the year, ask your students, what is the best way that you learn? What can I do to help you be successful in math for the year? Get to learn each and every one of your students, have that up front, and the teacher to also know what their math identity is.
Absolutely.
And cluing on that and intertwine your math identity into your students so you can bring the joy and wonder into the class.
That's beautiful.
That's it.
And to be willing to want to make your math identity more positive and to continue to grow and make it more positive.
For more information about affirming learners' mathematical identities, scan the QR code to access the accompanying brief. Also, please visit www.nc2ml.org for additional resources.